think Temu is just trying to get market share right now. I think there's some Super Bowl stuff coming up. I think they're just spending. And if whoever's backing them can burn a couple $1 billion a year, it might work out for them. There's definitely a bargain audience in the US that will wait 2 weeks to save $12 on an item for sure. Like, especially if you're buying $150 worth of shit, that's like 6 or 7 items. That savings could be $50, and there's a lot of people that's a big deal. $50.
Yeah.
I don't think we are necessarily the right market. None of us are deal seekers, by the way. None of us. We're all just kind of buy it. We're all convenience guys right here. I know that for sure. Like, Michael's not over there looking for 12 cents off his, bag of rice. So it's just I do feel like deal seekers are kind of a different audience. They are men, they are women, more women than men for sure. And they're on a fixed salary. These are kind of people that are on whatever they can spend each month is pretty capped. So they're willing to wait $11 to get a bunch more stuff for that month. Why do you think people should click on your product? And why do you think PPC is going to solve anything? And why do you think TikTok influencers are going to solve anything? And it's hard for people to hear. It's just hard because I'm basically shitting on their dreams. Like, you need to fix your offer, and that isn't that easy to do. And that's more and more conversations, guys. It's becoming like pretty widespread of like me being the bad guy.
It's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing to do. I mean, like, it is. It also is the hardest thing to actually confront, because, I mean, you really, to fix your offer and to make the perfect offer, you have to go and really do your due diligence, homework, and on the most dreaded subject, manufacturing. So it's just like, there's so much dread on going and finding and seeking a new manufacturer to make, whether it's innovating a new product or a new formula or new something that's different, or trying to find a cheaper manufacturers so you can actually improve your offer. Because most sellers are very just like, they found a manufacturer, it's $8, everybody's selling it for 20, but the $20 retail, they have to buy it for 8. With Amazon, there's no profit in that. Like, there's very little. You can spend maybe 5% or 8% of PPC, but you can't scale a company with so little spend. And then, of course, now you have to go do all your homework and research to find a manufacturer to make it for $4. And then, sometimes they want more queues, and you have to go through all of this talking to all these different people. And that's one of the people are here to do an e-commerce company and just press some buttons and make some money. They don't want to actually have to go physically talk to a bunch of people and make deals. But that's really what it comes down to. So you can work on your offer to become the same price or more competitive pricing. Then I think, like, there's a good, the company that I follow a lot, is that's what they do full time. They put all of their resources into negotiating with manufacturers to find the best possible price for the highest quality item to come in cheaper than every other person. And they're doing $200 million because of that thing.
EU is not that populated. It's probably,
well, you're thinking about 5 countries, right? Germany, Italy, Spain, France, and the UK.
Yeah. So the EU obviously isn't. There's no Hungary, Greece, Latvia, these other, like, but if you look at it, the population of what is it? France. Population.
Well, you have to also think that you can go from those other neighboring countries, because they're so close together, and buy from, if you're in Austria, you can buy from Amazon Germany, right? So you have to think that you're also including the population of Austria. And that too, they're buying those Amazon items. It's like, the EU for Amazon is like the United States. They're all neighboring states, but in this case, they're countries. Okay. So anyone can log into Amazon Germany, can log into France, and even if they're in Greece, you're going to go on one of those platforms and buy. So you have all that surrounding population buying from Amazon SP, Spain, or FR, France, or any of those neighboring countries.
So EU right now is about 100 million more than the US. The entire EU, it's like 450. US is 330. So million, obviously. So it's a little bit more population, but it's about half of the volume. But that half of the volume is definitely concentrated. Like let's be honest, that half of the volume is really going to be focused in Germany, France, Italy, Spain. Obviously, because of Brexit, there's no UK. I don't know how much there's Sweden and those kind of Scandinavian countries. I'm not really sure, but it makes me think that like the next great frontier, the gold rush, is kind of going back to the EU because that network is probably cost effective, especially if they are doing kind of FC transfers on close to borders and offering opportunities for neighboring countries to get products easily. The fact that 2 billion products are available same or next day, what does that tell you for 2-day shipping? 2-day shipping is probably an additional how many billion products? So Europe is pretty badass right now, guys.
No, I mean, if you really think about it from that perspective, I mean, with more population and less available products to purchase, I mean, it's kind of like, hey, that's pretty cool. Europe is I mean, I know sellers that crush it in Europe and can't really penetrate the market in the US. Like it's not they filled holes in the demand that were there, and then but the demand was already so filled in the US, but there's still huge opportunities for a lot of categories in Europe. I mean, especially like I saw those opportunities like 10 years ago. There's just nothing that existed on the search. So our search volume, but nobody could really sell anything yet. And now those things are filling up, but there's still plenty. So, I mean, half the products of the US and bigger population, there's going to be areas where if you know where to look, you can find those.
That's a good point. So half the products, over 100 million population increase, is just more demand, less supply. It's just simple math, right? It's simple economics. Yeah. So I guess, what have you heard as regards to, obviously we have clients in the EU, but what is your familiarity with like the simplicity or complexity of launching products in the EU to be able to actually take full advantage of all those different locations and all that demand?
I mean, it depends on the category. Like supplements and beauty, you're going to have a lot more red tape in the EU. So a lot of supplement and beauty sellers in those categories, which are very common, are going to go through more label changes, more regulations. They have to really be vetted basically get in those countries. But simple kitchenware items, home decor type items are way easier to get there. I mean, and then you just have to have a really good setup for VAT tax. So like a good company that you work with, you have to see, like when you go to those countries, you're going to have different transportation costs. You got to include those, like we talked about earlier, in your cog sheet, because it's so easy to lose money.
What's the diet look like these days, boys? What are you guys eating?
Macaroni and cheese and top ramen. Just kidding. I don't do that.
Perfect.
College food, man. I'm 34. I gotta still live like I'm 10.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Are you guys eating breakfast or what?
No.
I hate eating breakfast. I try to avoid it at all costs.
I'll have a protein shake. I've
never been a breakfast guy. See, I don't even do that. I just have the only thing I do, which I need to actually do correctly, is fast. Like I love fasting in the morning. My body has zero desire to eat food in the morning. But I will get hungry at noon. But I do have like cream in my coffee, which breaks the fast. But I just love the cream in coffee.
I did that yesterday. I fasted air quotes until 4:30, and I did have a coffee with cream, and I didn't count it as fasting in my head because I just can't live without it. So it was almost like I gave myself a pass.
I mean, he was at least late 20s at the park with I think a younger kid there, maybe his very young kid, and I went past him and he sort of skated right in front of me. I sort of wobbled a little bit and he looks at me, so sorry, sir, so sorry. I thought to my head, I'm like, where am I? It's calling me sir. I'm just like him, man.
I had that happen recently too. Like some kid called me sir, and I was like, but aren't we like homies? Me and he's like 12-year-old. I was like, aren't we the same? Like, let's get some Nerf guns and run around.
That's right.
It's weird when you're all of a sudden 40. Yeah.
That's how I'm 35 next month, and that's how I'm feeling now too. It's just like Oh shit! I'm the old guy, and and then like you get little comments from kids. Oh, the older guy, the old guy, and I'm like, only 35.
You took it to me? Yeah. Anyway, this old guy's gonna bring it back.
So what do you guys think about, like, a little bit of business news? What do you guys think about Snapchat? You know, they're laying off 10% of their global workforce. It kind of makes me think, because I saw a commercial for Snapchat at the Grammys last night. Yes, I watched the Grammys. I don't know why. My son really wanted to watch it, but it reminded me. I was like, oh yeah, Snapchat. Like, I forgot about Snapchat. Is Snapchat still a thing? I mean, I'm not asking the right audience here, 40-something-year-old, 35-year-old, but you guys hear much about Snapchat lately?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't have much information. I mean, I would assume that Twitter. I mean, sorry, not Twitter.
X.
TikTok definitely had a nice impact in a lot of other social media channels and what people are using actively. So I think probably the activity level will drop down with the advent of TikTok, would be my guess. But Snapchat was definitely targeting younger, really young. I mean, there was, from what I know, a lot of the users were pre-20s. So, and then now the TikTok also hits those people too. So, it's kind of like, I don't know which one you're going to use, but TikTok's way more popular and way bigger than Snapchat.